Welcome to my channel. My name is Gigi. Today I'm here with my lovely granddaughter Maria again, and we're kind of talking about things as well as cooking. Right now, our meal for tonight, I'm just making a quick little meal tonight. We're going to have a few barbecue chicken wings, and I'm using only the drumettes, as well as I'm going to do my take and our family recipe for baked beans. And I'm also going to do a little bit of baked macaroni and cheese. I know there's a million different ways you can do macaroni and cheese. This is just the way Gigi makes her macaroni and cheese. And I have all of my grands and great-grands and all that's been eating it for years. They grew up on it. I grew up on it from my grandmother and my great-grandmother. And just come on in. We're going to get started, and I have a special treat. I'm actually going to make a dessert, a brownie from using Nutella. And that's going to be like, it's like 4 ingredients, really quick, but very good. So come on in and just see what we're doing. I'm actually going to start with just showing you a little bit of what I've done already. I pre-shredded my cheese. I like to actually put seasoning in my cheese because when you do a macaroni and cheese, once you start adding the milk, the cream, everything in it, it will get very bland. So I've already put some seasoning in my cheese, just a little bit of Lawry's, a little bit of garlic salt, a little bit of roasted garlic, salt and pepper. And you know, you just mix it around. So right now, I'm mixing around my cheese to get it good and mixed together. And I'm going to put it over to the side. So right now, we have that ready. So right now, we're going to start first on the components of the baked bean. So I already have my pot on. I'm taking some thick cube bacon where I just kind of chopped it up into little pieces. And I'm going to use my bacon, onion, and a yellow onion or white onion, whichever one you decide to use, you can use it. It doesn't matter. I'm also going to use green onion. And I'm going to stir these components first. Say hi to everybody, Maria.
Hi guys, we're just sitting here watching Grandma cook. Say hi, Lily. Can you say hi? Hi.
And where's my Princess Isabel? Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Well, that's always wonderful. So what we're doing, we're starting Maria up cooking the green onions, and the bacon first. And I have it on high because we want to sweat everything down and kind of just let it cook till it gets a little bit brown. So I'm starting with that. I also have some maple sausage, as well as a little bit of hamburger that I'm going to put in it too. And we put all of these components into our baked beans. And I'm not going to even lie to you. I have Bush's baked beans that I like to use. I used to be a representative for Bush years ago. I think they're the best baked beans around, and I'm loyal to Bush. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these in. You can use any baked beans. You can make your own baked beans. I actually like this one. This is maple cured bacon. And of course, I already have everything chopped up. And I'm going to add a couple of more things. We're going to add a little bit of garlic. And as I always say, garlic burns, so we're going to make that last. I'm also going to put, I have really hard packed a half a cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. And these are just components little by little that I'm putting into the beans. So now we're just going to let this cook for the moment. And then once we get this cooking and get it browned, we will take this out and then we'll put the hamburger and the sausage in to cook. In the meantime, I am going to make my barbecue sauce for my for the few chicken wings that I have. And Marty, do you want me to make the barbecue sauce that we normally make, that your dad makes?
Yeah, I'd say that one's a pretty good one, actually. And you know what I noticed today, too, is even with, like, my honey allergy, when you guys use it for, you know, barbecue sauce, sometimes it actually really doesn't bother me. I know you perfected your barbecue sauce so that it doesn't include honey, too.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you, the longer do you have to do that, I can have the good one, too.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to start with some ketchup. So I'm putting ketchup in here. And I also have some tomato paste that I'm going to use. Excuse me, darling. So we're going to use tomato paste. Marty is not a big fan of the thick tomato paste, but it works. And my family like really big steaks and really huge pieces of meat, so a lot of times we use bigger and thicker barbecue sauce. And I'm also putting in a can of tomato sauce.
Your grandson-in-law's over here controlling.
Oh my goodness. Well, tell him as soon as I'm there, he know I will cook. I'm also going to add just a little bit of mustard, not a lot, just a little mustard. We have that in. And then I also use hickory. And I like using hickory. It's like the smoked hickory. It gives it kind of that smoky taste. So I poured maybe a teaspoon and a half of hickory in. So now that I have all of my ingredients, and as you see, I actually poured the brown sugar on top of the beans because I want it to start soaking through. So in the meantime, while we are doing that, and we're getting all the rest of our ingredients, just give this a quick stir. Oh, it smells really good. We got the bacon cooking, and you know I like maple, so I use a lot of maple. And I'm actually going to use, instead of honey, Maria, I'm using maple syrup in here, where it'll still give it that taste. And about a teaspoon and a half of honey. And today, I usually cook with bourbon or brandy or whatever. We're not putting any bourbon or brandy in it today. So what I'm going to do is just quickly mix my barbecue sauce together. And I mean, we can tweak it as we go. Take about a teaspoon and a half of salt to put in it. I'm going to take a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. Just a little bit of Lawry's. And just a little bit of the roasted garlic. So this is what we're doing. Now, as you can hear, it's frying. You can actually kind of hear that little popping sound. So you know it's getting brown. So once we have all of this together, I'm going to get just a little bit of water. And I like to take warm water. And we're actually going to make just a little bit of sugar water to go in. So I'm going to pour just a little bit of white sugar into the pan. Yep, because if it's too thick, you can always put, but you don't want to just water it down. So I'm going to use sugar water. So I'm letting my faucet get as hot as I can get it. And I'm going to melt the water down, the sugar down in the water. Yep, and just a little bit of sugar water. And I mean, you don't use it all necessarily, but you just want to have it. Same thing, simple syrup. Simple syrup is sugar water that they use in a lot of different mixed drinks. So I'm just stirring it around. I'm going to get another spoon. And I didn't cook a whole lot of wings, and I just like the little wings, the winglets. I don't really like the other part of the wing. I just cooked a few. We're empty nesters, as you can see. That's why I have to call my darling granddaughter on the phone, because I don't have anybody here. So, has a little tanginess to it. What you say, sweetheart?
I said you need to move up over here.
I know.
Every day.
Yeah, so I can be the new cook. So what I'm doing is actually adding more syrup. You know, when you have honey, it's a little bit thicker, so it makes it a little bit sweeter. So I added just maybe another tablespoon and a half of syrup, because the liquid hickory really powers through. And I'm going to take just a little bit of this sugar water to kind of loosen it up just a little bit. Probably about 4 tablespoons. And just start to stir it around. And I also right now have my water boiling. And I know a lot of you do, maybe some don't, but I actually like to put oil into my water that I'm cooking my pasta with. And I taught my granddaughter to do that. I don't know whether she still do it or not, but I certainly put oil. I like to put oil in my pasta water. And I go one little step forward, Maria. And when I'm doing that, now I get to the point that I actually like to put garlic in there. But what I try to do is just get the garlic juice as close as I can, and not a lot of garlic, just kind of the garlic juice. So that gives your pasta a little bit of flavor. So now that we've gotten all of this, and this time the bacon cooked and we really didn't even have to add any oil. So now what I'm going to do is take all of this and put it right on top. And as you see, I'm not mixing anything right now. So now I'm going to crunch up my hamburger.
Hey, Grandma.
Yes.
I'm going to be on pause for a second. Your youngest great-granddaughter is freaking out now.
Okay, darling. Well, you go take care of my little young princess. And there we go. We have that in. And I like to wash my hands after most of the things that I do, and I try to keep the dishes flowing. I like to rinse things out, but I also like to go ahead and put them into my dishwasher. This way it keeps the kitchen flowing and you don't have 100 dishes after it's all over. So we come back. I'm going to taste this again for a few minutes. And as you notice, I've just kind of let the meat start to get a little sizzle on it. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to start just breaking it up. And once we get it all broke up, we'll put it right into here. And we're going to put a little bit of our barbecue sauce on it as well. How's she doing? Look at my little princess. You just wanted to see your Gigi, didn't you? Yes, you did. You wanted to see Gigi. You knew Gigi was cooking. Yes. Because you're hungry, aren't you, sweetie? You ready to eat? That's our code word. Anytime I call my granddaughter, the first thing I ask the baby, is she hungry? And she licks out her tongue to let me know she's hungry. So yeah. See, if Gigi was there, Gigi, you wouldn't be hungry. No. No. Hi. Yes. When my youngest, my other great-granddaughter, Lily, was small, 2 Christmases ago, Marty was a very new mom, first baby. She told me, Gigi, because I cooked some sweet potatoes. She said, Gigi, can you cook some sweet potatoes on the side so we can give Lily some? I said, uh-huh. I'm an old-fashioned cook. I'm from a long line of Southern women where we give the babies what we're eating. And she kept saying, but you can't have any sugar or any of the candied stuff on it. It just needs to be plain. I said, uh-huh, sure. So I actually took some that we all ate straight out of the bowl, mixed it up, mashed it up, and Lily ate every bit of it. She goes, what happened? She never eats that for me. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it just was a difference. She liked the sugar in the sweet potatoes. But you know, when they're young and they're brand new parents, whatever the doctors say is that's gospel. They forget that we raised them and it didn't hurt them, so it's not going to hurt the babies. But now she knows as soon as I get a hold of both of them, I'm going to feed them like I want to feed them. Right, Maria?
That is your prerogative as Gigi. Hey, you can do whatever you like. Have so many kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. By this point, yeah, you got it. I completely trust in you. Right? Say hi, Gigi. Be here.
Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. I miss you guys. I really do. I miss you guys. Isabel had her first Valentine's yesterday. Her first Valentine. I can remember when her mother was little and had her first Valentine. For my granddaughter here and my grandson, her older brother, when these two were born, I stopped working to become their nanny because I didn't want anybody else to have a hand in my precious grandchildren. And I wish I was there to do the same thing for her children. But I got so many of them now. But we're still working on that. So, here we go. So now what we're going to do is take all of that mixture. And by the time you finish with it, it's a meal within itself. And my husband can attest to that. He used to didn't like baked beans. Maria wasn't crazy about them. But we put so much meat in them until it's a meal. And as you can see, you see all the bacon. You see the beans. You see the hamburger. You see the sausage. The onions, the garlic. You've got all of this mixed up in there. And that's what makes it so, so, so good. You got the brown sugar. So now that we have all of this mixed together, we are going to take a little bit of the barbecue sauce. Marty, I'm actually going to put some barbecue sauce into the baked beans.
Yeah, that was really good.
So we're going to put a little bit of the barbecue sauce into the baked beans. About a heaping spoonful just to give it that flavor because we're going to use the rest of it for the chicken. And this needs to cook maybe about 30 minutes. You got to remember, even the beans are actually almost done. What you're doing is marinating the flavors and just making sure everything is through the flavors. So we got all of this served up together. Please feel free to send me any recipes. Try this out if you make it a different way. I would love to hear a comment or a feedback to say, hey, Gigi, how about trying it with this? Why don't you cook it with this? This worked really well. I would love for you to send me any feedback or anything you say, hey, what about you adding this? Maybe you have a favorite recipe you want to share with me. I will be glad to get it. So now we have this ready to go. And we are going at this time to go ahead and put it in the oven. So we have that going. So while we have that in the oven, I've already put a little bit of seasoning on the chicken. But we're just going to take the chicken now. So are you going up to your mother's tomorrow, right, Maria?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here looking at all the clothes, trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to pack. Luckily, it's only for one night, so I don't have to pack nearly as much as I normally do.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, Nona, the kids call my daughter Nona. They don't call her grandma. You know, the new age grandparents, they don't like to be called grandma. So she's called Nona, and her husband is called Pop Pop. So they're going to see Nona and Pop Pop tomorrow, and then they're going up to go to a birthday party for some twin friends of theirs, right? Mm-hmm. And then they'll get to see, oh my goodness, they'll get to see their other grandmother tomorrow and have a time to spend a little time with the family up in Maryland. My daughter right now is in Virginia. She's down in Virginia, so my granddaughter. And then she'll go up to see her mom. So this is already ready. Not a whole lot to it. Just our homemade barbecue sauce. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the bottom. And the beans, about 45 minutes and they should be fine. Now what we're going to do is go ahead, and as soon as my noodles are done, we're going to go ahead and start on my mac and cheese. I like to stack my mac and cheese. Like I said, I already have my cheese is shredded. It's already seasoned. I have a little breadcrumbs for the top. I have a little half and half to go with my eggs because I actually use eggs and half into my mac and cheese. Mac and cheese can get a little sticky. I like to use a little Pam. I just coat my dish really well with the Pam. As soon as we can get our noodles together, what we will do is go ahead and assemble the mac and cheese. Now let me tell you a little bit about, and Monty, I'm going to move you over here where I'm getting ready to cook the Nutella brownies. Let me just tell you a little bit about this. It is very, very simple to make. Really simple. You use Nutella, 1 cup of flour. I like to use just a little bit more because I like them a little bit gooey. I'm going to make like a double. So we're going to have about 2 cups of Nutella. So we're going to use about a cup and a half, heaping cup and a half of flour. It takes 3 eggs and you put it in the mixer. I'm going 1 step forward and I'm actually going to add some white chocolate chips as well as some, I'm actually using today, I'm going to use some chopped walnuts. A lot of times you can use pecans, but I just want to use some chocolate walnuts. So I'm going to go ahead and put my flour into my mixing bowl. I'm going to take a little bit, and you really don't have to use it. If you want to, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. But I like to kind of just use a little bit of vanilla. So I'm going to use just a little vanilla into my mixture. I'm using self-rising flour, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'll take this, and I just got my flour meted out. Oh, it's almost about 2 cups, but I won't use the whole thing. Since I'm not going to sift my flour today, what I'm going to do is actually just take a fork, and I'm going to go through. Hi, Pumpkin. You see it? You see Gigi cooking? Yes. You know you're supposed to get something, right? Yes. So I know if my Gigi is cooking, I'm supposed to eat. Yes, I am. I'm supposed to eat. Let Gigi move a little bit of these things where we can move around. Ladies and gentlemen, again, like I said, family, I try to keep everything washed up as I go. Sometimes it's not easy, but I want to do it as much as I can. It just makes the kitchen much more efficient to move around in. So I am just putting stuff away. When it's all over, all I have to do is go ahead and mix my food, sit down and eat, and not worry about a lot of dishes. Hit the button and say, please wash the dishes. I like that. I was thinking about in making these cakes. My mother and grandmother used to make a lot of brownies, but my mother used to make fruit cakes. Southern woman, both of them. And she, at that time, and I'm about to tell my age, she had a hand mixer. And she used to have all this candied fruit and this very, very heavy batter. You know, the batter, the eggs, the flour, everything mixing. And my job was to turn this hand mixer to cook mix all of this stuff in there. And every time she turned her head, I used to take my Kool-Aid and pour in there to make the batter a little bit, easier to turn. Today, I don't know, I just had my granddaughter is falling out over here. She's hilarious. I'm pretty sure they've done the same thing to me, and me telling them, hey, you got to come and help me cook. So right now,
We just eat the batter when you're not cooking.
oh, that's what you did. Okay. So I have my pan already, and I have some parchment paper. But there again, I still just like to put just a little bit of Pam on the bottom, even with the parchment paper. It's going to come right off. I'll go ahead and put my parchment paper in, so that'll be ready when we get the batter ready to go. That will be ready. And right now, we're going to test to see if these noodles are ready. Because if they're ready, we will strain them so we can go ahead and put this together so it'll have time to cook. I try to get my noodles as done as possible without them being too soft. A little bit of al dente, but just enough to know that they are ready so it doesn't take forever. That's just fine. My family is very impatient when it comes to cooking. So, because everybody's trying to eat and make sure they get out the kitchen, especially my grandsons. So, that's their big sister job, is to catch them before they get out the kitchen and say, oh, no, you have to help. So right now, I'm just going to shock my noodles for a minute. And if you like your macaroni and cheese very cheesy, by all means, either add more, or if you don't, you can add less. We like it kind of in between. So right now, what I'm going to do, and you guys have to excuse me, because I am going to use my hand. Like I said, I'm a Southern cook. I'm old-fashioned. This is what my grandmother did, my great-grandmother did, and we're still living. So, I'm going to use my hand to do this. So, what I'm going to start with right now is a layer of mac and cheese. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys cook it the same way. So, I'm sure I'm not really telling you anything that you don't already know. So, just kind of a heaping of the noodles, and then my already seasoned mac and cheese, just kind of swirling around just a little bit more with all that seasoning. And what we're going to do is take this and pour a layer over. I would like to get in, I'm cooking a small amount, like I said, because we are empty nesters, and we'll eat 2 or 3 pieces of this. And then we don't eat anymore because it's just my husband and I. So, and you can't box it up and send it to the kids. I wish I could, but we can't.
I wish you could too.
So now we're repeating the same stage again, doing the same thing for the second one. Putting it in, kind of packing it down a little bit. I like to dry my hands off, that way the cheese doesn't stick to it. And we're going to do the same thing with the cheese. My daughter, she has to have gluten-free. and we find the gluten-free noodles, but we do the same thing to make her mac and cheese. And when was that? Thanksgiving, Madia, we made it, and everybody ended up eating the gluten-free mac and cheese.
Right? Yeah. And then, of course, after they found out it was gluten-free, they go, oh, well, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
entire was gone.
It was exactly. But it was all going by then. I'm throwing things on the floor. Forgive me. So here we are, right at the end of our noodles. That was just enough to make 3 layers. And what I'm doing now, doing that, wiping my hands again. This time, because it's the top layer, I'm actually going to take my breadcrumbs that I've already crunched up, and I'm going to put them into the bowl. My granddaughter doesn't really like it with breadcrumbs, but the rest of the family does, so I kind of try to satisfy everybody. So when I'm there, a lot of times I'll make one for her and then the other ones for the rest of them. So now we have the breadcrumbs put into the seasoned cheese, and now we just start filling that around on the top. Just a little bit everywhere. Now you got that crunchiness of the breadcrumbs once it's done. And when she was a little girl, she ate it with breadcrumbs. But you know, when they get grown, they develop another palate.
I got older, and then I realized the error of my ways.
Just like she ate stuffing. She called it uffing. She ate stuffing all of her little life, and now that she's older, you can't get her to put any turkey stuffing or anything in her mouth.
Yeah.
But
why would I do such a thing to myself, Grandma? Don't you love me?
yes, absolutely, my darling. So now we have all of this in. So now this is where we do a difference. I have my eggs, and I have half and half, or you can use milk, use whatever you like. We're going to lightly put a little seasoning in here, just lightly, because the milk or the eggs doesn't have any season. Half a teaspoon of each one, lightly. You can always put more pepper than anything else in it. So we're going to put, this time I'm just putting the regular pepper. So now what I'm going to do is start to whip my eggs. And please excuse my kitchen. I know things are around, but I'm going to whip my eggs. And as I get my eggs kind of already whipped, I'm going to start to add my half and half. My mother used to use canned milk. You can use half and half. You can use regular milk. You can use water and eggs. It's up to you. And if you don't want to put this in, some people use flour and water, or flour and milk for the roux. But you need that binder. And this is what this is. So
It really makes it work. You're right.
yep. So Madia can see this as well. And Madia, you asked me the last time, how was I able to get it completely down in there? So what I do is take a knife and I just go through it. Now all of that packing and everything we just did, I'm going through with a knife, and I'm disturbing all of it right now. Because what I'm doing is making pockets. I'm making holes. I'm making pockets. And this is what I need to do. If it was a bigger thing, what I would do is probably just go ahead and pour it, but because it is such a small dish, I'm going to start putting it in, and especially, as you can see, especially around the edges. You want to get those edges coated really good. I can't talk today, sorry. Coated, you want to get them coated around the edges. And we're just going to do it all around. I just talked to your Uncle Travis and your cousins.
Oh, yeah?
They're fine. They're out the mountains. He looked like a wolf man. He got a full beard. He said they had so much stuff packed until he couldn't find his razor. So he looks like Wolfman Jack.
That's funny.
And they closed on the house today. So they are in there and they got, you know, blankets and everything. The furniture is there, but because they wasn't there when the furniture came. And it'll come out. And a little bit of it will roll out. So don't worry about it if you see a little bit of it rolling out. Because I'm still putting this mixture in. And I'm moving it as far as I can away. So we can get it down in here. And then we'll go back and we'll add it to the rest of it. But I just want to get this binder all around. But so they get their furniture tomorrow. And but everything is good. They were getting ready to go out to eat. So they said they were going to call me tomorrow.
I got you. That sounds good.
So, yep.
I'm glad the move went great.
Yeah, it did. And I mean, that was a long drive. Too much of a drive for me. I see your mother didn't go out there to help because that we don't do driving too well.
Yeah, no. Not a road trip person.
Yep. And me being an ex-flight attendant, I really like the sky instead of the highway. So, and now as you can see, I'm actually just pouring it all around. And as I pour it, those crater pockets. And what I like to do is leave just a little bit so I can kind of keep mixing it in to make sure that it gets good and saturated. So, as you can see, I'm pouring it all over. So now what you do, what I like to do, now I'm kind of what I call putting it back in place now. Because it has that binder in it. You don't want to overdo it with the liquid because once it's cooking, it's all golden brown. You don't want to cut down into it and you got a whole lot of juice in here. As you notice, I really haven't used any butter. I'm going to use a little bit of my butter right now. And I just like to put just a little bit of butter on top. Then let it just kind of seep through. It helps to give the bread a little bit of a crunch. Just thin slices of butter all around. My grandmother used to call them pecks of butter. And I'm just putting it right here on everything. And ladies and gentlemen, I tell you again, if you have a different recipe or you look at this and say, I don't like that recipe, I understand. If you want to send me some suggestions, please. I want to thank everybody for tuning into my page or my channel rather, and just leaving me comments, liking or disliking, because everybody's not going to like what you cook. And just let me know what I can do better, what you would like to see or whatever. But I do want to know that I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. There we go. So now, I know this looks a little excessive, but just a little bit to lock it in. So now what we're going to do, we are going to add it to the oven here. And while we're in here, we're going to check on the baked beans. We're just going to pull them out. See how they're browning? Doesn't that look good? Oh man, that's going to be excellent. So now, give me a minute to just clean this up real fast. And from here, we are going to make the batter for my Nutella brownies. Huh? Well, you know, when I saw this and I thought about it and I looked at some other brownie recipes, I thought, I should do this so Maya can make it, because when Maya lived over in Germany with us, she used to love Nutella. That was her favorite, and they have it over there a lot. That was her favorite. And she was the only one in the house that actually ate Nutella. So when I saw this recipe, I thought, this would be good. So this is the reason that I'm actually doing this recipe. No matter how old your grandkids get, you still have a tendency to want to cook things that you know that they would like, or you cook things with them in mind. That never changes, even when they have their own children. So, here we go. We pretty much got everything else. A few dishes here that needs to be put away. But we're going to start from here now. Now that we got that straightened up, we have the flour already together. And what we're going to do is do our ingredients first. So now I am going to, and I'm just going to meter it here. And this will be just about 2 cups of the Nutella. Just get it in here. And once we get the Nutella in, oh, and it smells so good. It has that hazelnut flavoring. That's what makes it so good. Have you given Lily Nutella yet, Maya?
Actually, no, not yet. I mean, not really for any kind of reason.
Yeah, because I know she likes chocolate, so I know that she will love this.
Right, exactly.
So now that Gigi is showing you how to make the Nutella brownies, you'll have to make Nutella brownies.
I know.
And what I'm doing here is just getting it all off, getting it in. Here we go. So, now that we have that in, I can lock down my mixer. And I'm just going to rinse this off a little bit. And once we get this, because I'm going to use this again, so I want this kind of clean. I'm going to put that right there. So now that we have the Nutella in, we are going to now, I'm going to start it on slow. So we're going to start it on slow, and I have this little guard on here, and I have the guard on it to keep the flour from going everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put, I just used a cap full of my vanilla into it. Yes, Mama, would you like some brownies? Would you like some brownies, sweetie pie? in just a real heaping cup. And what I'm going to do is start to put it in just a little bit. I'm trying not for the flours to go everywhere. So I'm going to mix the flour in. And I'm putting my eggs in later simply because I want this to get really mixed, and then I'm going to mix my eggs in. So in just a minute, I'm getting the rest of my flour in. And like I said, I put about 2 heaping teaspoons in. So we're going to let this cook a little bit. And then I have my 3 eggs already cracked. I'm going to pour my eggs in. And now what I'm going to do is just let this be. Oh man, that smells so good. Well, your granddaddy for Valentine's Day actually brought me the glass part of it. I think that my beater has got to get used to it, but it brought me the glass part. So we're going to let it beat until, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to take it up for a second. And at least with this on it, you don't have to do too much scraping because it's a scraper as it go. It's already a scraper. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to make sure it's all scraped out good. Oh, that really tastes so good. It just looks, it just has that smell to it. We're going to put it back down for just another couple of seconds. And just let it whip really well.
You know I will, honey.
So there we are. So now I am just going to get it. Can you see it, Maria?
Let me see. Bring your spoon around right in front of you. Oh my goodness, that looks good.
Yep. And you know it's thick, so you know it's going to be a thick, chocolatey brownie. So now that I have all of this, what I'm going to do now is put my nuts and my chocolate chips in it, which is, like I said, I'm using white chocolate chips. Just something a little different. So I'm putting my white chocolate chips, about a half a bag, maybe a little more. So I'm doing my white chocolate chips, and then I'm opening my chopped walnuts. And I'm going to put a packet, maybe a packet and a half. And then we're going to use the rest of them on top. And when you're making this recipe, it's not how many, a cup of chocolate chips or a couple of whatever. It's whatever you want to put in there. If you want to put pecans in there, please put pecans in it. If you decide that you want to put, you know, whatever, you can put it in there. It's no problem. You can put them all in there. And see, now all we're doing is just kind of mixing it around. We're letting it just kind of mix it around. And it's going to be all through there. We just want it all the way through. Just mix through. That's just about right. So we're going to stop it. And now as you can see, you see the batter now, Maria? See the batter is very, very thick.
Yeah, it looks so good.
So now what we're going to do is just kind of get all the batter off if we can. And then we're going to just pour it into our greased dish. And we're just going to take this, take it off, put it here. And here we are. We're getting ready. Hi, Mama. Hi, little lady. Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, honey. Hey, pretty girl. Look at that beautiful baby.
As you can see, we're crazy about our grandchildren and our great-grandbabies.
Yes, indeed.
Family is everything.
Yes, it is.
So now, what I'm doing is just taking it down, trying to get it around all I can to just take it out. And it's a very, very strong batter. The Nutella just makes it very, very strong. I'm going to take it out and start to put it in my pan. And just keep taking it out and putting it in the pan. I'm being politically correct. My grandmother would have taken her hands, took it out, put it in her pan, and worked it around with her pan, with her hands.
But, I mean, hey, she always washed her hands really well.
Yes, she...
Extra hot, scalding water.
Oh, don't we know. Something that none of us couldn't touch. So now what I'm going to do is take the back of a heavier spoon and just start to bring it around. And this parchment paper is wonderful because it won't stick. And just keep bringing it, keep pushing it around. This is when I know I'm getting older and I love my grandchildren. But before then, I wouldn't have the patience to do this. But now that I'm a GG, and the GG stands for great grand, wasn't really ready to be called great grandmama, so the GG was okay.
Well, being as young as you are, I understand that.
I don't feel it. And by the way, anybody that went to see Nephew Tommy last night, I hope you had a good time. We went to the first show, and it was wonderful. It was hilarious. And he's going to be here for a couple of more nights. If you didn't go last night and not tonight, definitely go tomorrow night. He will be here until tomorrow night. And then tomorrow, we're going down to San Antonio to get to see Fantasia. And also, we're going to see Maze and, of course, Tank. I think everybody's going to see Tank. So, once we push it all in, it will cook up, and this is what it looks like. You see it, Maria?
Oh, wow.
That's what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're just going to put that in the oven, and I do believe that my baked beans are ready to come out. Oh my goodness. Just look at that. And we still have our barbecue chicken in for a few minutes. And as you can see, look at the mac and cheese. Just about done. I'm going to go ahead and put my brownies in. We'll be taking out everything in a few minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, just hang with us. We will show you exactly how everything is going to look once it's done. There again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking my page. Thank you for leaving your comments. Please tell a friend. Please keep subscribing. I give a shout out to my good friend, Social Butterfly, on Food for the Soul. She started me. She's been my mentor. And I just want to say thank you to her and to her family. They're like my family. And welcome us into her family. And ladies and gentlemen, she cooked some wonderful, wonderful dishes. I don't know whether you had her Lazy Man chicken, but it is phenomenal. So please, ladies and gentlemen, keep watching us. I know you will. She's already had 1 million viewers. She's got over 600 subscribers plus. She's great at what she does.
I saw the videos too. So I subscribed to her page as well.
Yes, yes, yes. She has some wonderful things on her page, doesn't she?
Yep.
And I like the idea that she is so open and to you. She's like she tells me all the time, I'm an open book. I bring my family in. This is the reason that I want you to meet my family. They're so far away. She has the luxury of having her children and grandchildren right with her. I don't. But if I can bring them to you through the networks, I certainly will. I have so many more that unfortunately I can't bring to you because they're different places. But it's a lot of us. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you. Because without you, I can do this all day and it won't mean a thing. And of course, special shout out to my granddaughter. She's always been there for me. She's my inspiration as well as right by my side. Don't know what I would do without her.
I don't know what you would do without me either, but that's okay, because I'm always here for you.
Yes, darling, I know. So, and my 2 little ones, when I'm having a bad day, man, all I have to do is see that they're duoing me, and my day changes. And it's like they know when to call Gigi and when Gigi needs them.
But they just might be a little spoiled by Gigi.
Just a little. Just a little. Not a lot.
You spoil them, they spoil you. You
Yeah.
get more love and hugs and kisses than I do.
Yeah. I have to make up for the time that I'm not there. And I have 2 of them now. So that's double kisses and double love now. So,
Right?
I can't wait. And I'm sure that you guys will get to meet all of my grandchildren. Hopefully around Christmas or Thanksgiving, we tend to all get together. And we are certainly going to do our best to make some family videos and just invite you in to see what we do. Not necessarily so much cooking, just to say, hey, welcome to our family, and we're glad that you're here. Anything you want to say to the viewers, Maria?
Hi guys, make sure you tune back in with Gigi's page. I'm convincing her to do, a couple of videos. My grandmother, oh my goodness. When the last video, when she said that, we were setting formal tables by what, 4, 5? She was not joking. It's amazing actually, because honestly, it's not a scale grandma that I ever thought I would use. And now when I'm entertaining guests or it's a holiday thing, I am. So everybody, make sure you tune back in. I'm trying to convince her to do a decoration or a table setting for Easter. Big holiday coming up. And we'll see if she'll do an Easter video before Easter so that, that way you can kind of get a couple of ideas on a good spread. Because let me tell you something, you've never had anything if you haven't had my grandmother's Easter spread. The family flies in from all over, including Japan, Hawaii, all the way to Virginia, Florida. We fly into Grandma just to have that Easter spread. In addition to Thanksgiving and Christmas, but those go without saying. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for likes. She reads all your comments, good or bad. It's okay. We're good with constructive criticism, so don't worry. But thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. And I think my little great-grandbaby was trying to say what she had to say as well.
You want to say hi? Say hello. Are you a doggy? What's your name? My name is Doggy. Oh, she said she's a doggy. It's no longer Lily.
So, Lily, can you come and say hello, world? Thank you for looking at my Gigi's page, my channel.
You want to come talk on the phone? Yeah. Come on. Hold on. She's trying to climb up, Grandma.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Can you say?
Hello, world.
Say this.
Say thank you for looking at our page. Thank you for looking at our page. Say please subscribe. Please subscribe. Say I love you, Gigi. I love you, Gigi.
I love you too, Parky.
Gigi.
And I love you too, little lady. Yes, I do. I love both of you guys. Yes, and your mommy especially.
Yes, I'm awesome.
Yes, you are. Always have been.
Big Papa's nodding his head. He knows.
Yes, indeed, honey.
She's an awesome daughter, awesome
Yes.
granddaughter, awesome mom,
That's right.
awesome wife. I just can't say enough about her. And yes, I'm a little biased because she's my baby and I can do that. But just wanted you guys to just see my family, get to know part of my family. There's a lot more of my family, but unfortunately, everybody can't be on page. My daughter, her mother is a little camera shy, but one day maybe we'll get her to come in. And this is our barbecue chicken. And like I said, it's just a few pieces. It's my husband and I. It's not a lot of us. So we're empty nesters. I don't want to do a lot. And I'm going to pull this out a minute just to show you the mac and cheese. I'm sure that you know this, but one way, excuse me, sweetie, one way I like to test to see if my mac and cheese is completely done, I like to stick my fork down. Now see, you're getting cheese, but you're also getting a little bit of the white. So that tells me we need to let it set for a little bit longer. Once we let it set for a little bit longer, we will be able to serve it in a few minutes. I'm going to take out a couple of plates, but I just wanted you to kind of see what I was doing and just move along with me. I wish I could set a plate for my grandchildren, but unfortunately I can't. But I will make it up to you. In a few weeks when I see you, I will make it up to you. And when I get down to visit my granddaughter, we're actually going to do a couple of segments. She's going to show you some of her favorite dishes that she likes to do as well. So, we got some...
I'm no Gigi, but I'm pretty good, but I'm no Gigi.
Yeah, but we've got some fun things coming up, though. Like I said, I'm going to try to get down before Easter or right at Easter, and maybe we can do like an Easter spread and just show you some of the things that we do for Easter. This will be the baby's first Easter, so I would really kind of like to be there. My husband as well. Say hello to everyone, honey.
Hi, everybody.
So we just want to let you guys know what I'm doing. I'm going to give it about 2 minutes, and I'm going to take out the mac and cheese. And as you can see, the beans are completely. And Marty, I'm going to let you see the beans and see the way that they made kind of like that crust on them, and that's because of the brown sugar.
Right? Oh, man, that sounds so good.
Yeah, and then you got the chunks of bacon. You know, you got the sausage.
Where is it?
Huh?
Let me see your macaroni.
Oh, that's her favorite, my mac and cheese. I'm actually, when she was pregnant and I would go down to visit them, I always had to make a mac and cheese and stick it in the refrigerator out of the way because that's what she was going to take it home. And then when the baby was born, we made mac and cheese. Remember when we made mac and cheese for Lily? And what's the little girl name?
Eris.
Eris. She ate all of Lily's mac and cheese. Lily was not happy. Yep. Lily was not happy. So I just kind of want you to see everything. I'm getting ready to take out the mac and cheese. I think that's why Maria is still on, because she wants to see this mac and cheese.
I do. Yes.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. There is the mac and cheese. The brownies, they are rising, as you can see. But see the mac and cheese, Maria?
Oh, wow.
So,
It looks really good, even with the breadcrumbs. And oh my goodness, I'm still like drooling over here.
yep. So this is what we're having. We're having a little bit of barbecue wings with homemade barbecue sauce. And I'm sure you guys have some great, great barbecue sauce recipes. Please send them to me. Mine's just a little bit on the plain side. It still has the taste. If you have something you want to send me, please do. There's the beans. There's the chicken. The brownies are rising. It shouldn't take but a few minutes for the brownies. But I just wanted you to see the end results. I know a lot of you guys have wrote into me and said, hey, Gigi, not only do we want to see you cook it, but we want to see what the end results look like. So I just wanted you guys to see exactly what we have here. The mac and cheese, the chicken, and my special Gigi's baked beans. If you have any questions, you'd like for me to send you the recipe, please let me know. I'll do it for you. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Please keep tuning in. Please keep sending me likes. Please keep sending your family, your friends, to my page, to my channel. Tell them to like. Please tell them to subscribe. And just have a wonderful weekend. And we'll talk to you soon. You guys have a good evening now. Bye now.